All right, so today's video, we are back with another Quickplay Warrior. People keep loving the series. We're gonna keep doing them. This one, we got a lot of hours on this Quickplay Warrior. So let me start off here. For this player, they have 3,219 hours of unranked and 247 hours of ranked. So a very stark difference here. And they say, hi, I have been playing Overwatch since it first released back in 2016. Since then, I have tried multiple times to get into competitive, but I always got too anxious and went back to Quickplay. However, now I have a much better mindset and want to give it a proper go. I did play the drive last season because I wanted pretty weapons, I get it, but it was the first time I'd played comp in well over a year. I was a bit of a Mercy one-trick during Overwatch 1 with 1,500 hours on her. That's a lot of hours. But I've recently picked up Winston and have been really enjoying him. Fun hero. Now, I main him in D.Va, and I've been practicing Domina now that she's out. However, I would love feedback on how to improve, as tank is still my least played role. So we're going to be watching a quick play game here. Now, the idea is I'm going to guess the rank that I think this player should be in. I was very accurate on this. Not very accurate, but close enough up until the last one we did. Let me tell you, if that video is already out, you'll know which one I'm talking about. So hopefully we can bounce back with this one. So we're going to watch it here. You say, for this quick play match, you said, I was honestly just having fun this game, warming up for comp. So I definitely made some stupid decisions throughout, but I also think I played decently overall. You said you're guessing Masters 3 with no context. I guess we'll see. So we'll see what happens. I will say, Winston on Junkertown, not my favorite matchup. It's you have to. Okay, we'll see how this goes. Okay. Yep. So I just to be careful here. Good kill, but I want you to be careful of those really high jumps in the air, because that is the easiest way to get CC'd, to get rolled in the air. All of that can be like something I would recommend kind of figuring out. So try to put a little bit more of, you're on console? Got it. Yeah, good call on that, Jazz. A little bit more like, you know, more at an angle. Like it's not like straight up in the air. Like give yourself, it will give you more distance and you'll have much better survivability. Here we go. I like the backline pressure though. Be careful of going for that Ana. So like, I want to kind of show people something here. Like say you were playing aggressive Winston. I kind of want to see what people's mindset here is, because I've seen a lot of people on Winston. Ignore like their spawns here, but I see a lot of people on Winston. They would dive right to the Ana and just go to the low ground, right? To give you an idea, the more ideal play would be to jump from here to here and then zap down. Do you see what I'm saying? A lot of like Winstons I watch will always just like front and center dive into their face, and it's like the most like kind of generic dive you'll do. So I just want to kind of show that type of example now of where you would want to go here and then kind of zap down, then to jump over there and then go there. Now, of course, there's going to be different situations, right? Like if an Ana is in the middle of the open over here, right? I'm not going to tell you to jump up to here and then hope they get in range and start right-clicking them, right? You're going to go for the Ana. But in situations where you can give yourself an extra layer of cover, it can go a long way and can also help you counterplay the sleep and the grenade without having to use your bubble. So anyway, sorry, I know that's a random note that probably won't even happen here, but I thought that was a good moment to show that. You know. Now you did say you play a little bit riskier here, so I will give you that, you know, moment. Yeah, when you jump, try to also have your reload before the jump, or like as you're going for your play. But so far it's been fine. Like you're under. You know what? I want to point something out here, by the way. Okay, does anybody else do this? Whenever you main a hero, for some reason, you'll hate getting dove by a Winston, but the moment you're on Winston, you're just chasing the Mercy around the map. You know what I mean? Like, you said that Mercy was your main, and now you're like, dude, I've been chased down by so many Winstons. It's my turn. Ooh, you have not left this Mercy alone the whole time. You're like, you're not going anywhere. I have 1,500 hours on this character, and it's my turn now. That's it. You're like, that's it. Get out now. Good job. I mean, this is exactly kind of the rotations you'll do on Winston. I do want to, you know, get you a bit wary on playing this close consistently. Like, I like the aggression, but I don't want you to, like, get used to just always being in their spawn like that. Still want to lower those jumps a little bit, by the way. Just because, like, it can get you rolled. See those, like, really high jumps you're doing? I want you to practice those angles, okay? Like, you see how you're, like, you're really floating in the air there. So just something to look at. Playing corner stairs is fine. Again, just remember, like, learn to get to spots or stay in spots without having to just do the same jump up in the air like this. See this same rotation? It's working right now, but this is something that you will eventually, like you can get punished for doing that too much. You know, obviously it's in Quickplay right now too. Oh, here we go again. Oh, you're playing Mercy. That's it. Oh, there's an honor right here. You could ult this, by the way. Like, this is a spot where you could ult. Yep. Either one works. Look to maybe get him off the map, block the res. Good luck. Anytime I block the res, I can launch the Mercy to Horizon Lunar Colony, and the res will still work. Then if I play Mercy and go for a res, I get, like, booped by, like, the side of, like, a Junkrat grenade, like, 2 inches, and my res breaks. Doesn't make any sense. I think my res is broken whenever I play Mercy. Just to point out, by the way, you just kind of overextend there. That's what I was saying. Like, I want you to learn how to do what you're doing with, like, the aggression, but learn how to do it in a way that doesn't require you to just do the same loop of jump really high in the air and reset. Things I think that'd be very helpful in these situations, at least from, like, what I'm gathering. You know? Here you go. Going in. Stick with your Juno ultimate. I know the Juno ultimate's really fast, so... did they just nano a Mercy? Just to survive? I love that. Okay, they have a Winston now. Yeah, but yeah, I'm just like showing you, like, you're getting a good idea of aggression. I just want you to get in the habit of... also, just a little bit of a note. People are going to tell you about the melee combo. You can do it a lot quicker. Like, the one thing to practice is, like, if you get into, there's like a really cool combo you can do with like a right click, land, and then also melee. I know it's a little bit advanced tech sometimes, but you can clean up your melees on your land-ins eventually, to the point where, like, you can almost animation cancel it. Like, you can still see it, but you can barely see it. There used to be a point where I would do the Winston jumps. People were like, why aren't you doing the melee? Like, no, I am. It's just like I practiced a lot in the training range for a while of getting the timing down. So you can kind of like get a timing down where like you can barely see the punch and like you can do all that burst. There's times on Winston, like if you actually do the right click dive like perfectly, you can actually just like reset people back to spawn. It's really cool. So something to keep note of. So just so you know, and even then, like, yeah, if you already have that tech down, you can clean it up a little bit. Like I noticed there, you dove in, and then there was like a little bit of a delay. Sometimes that delay can be the difference between like the honor grenade getting off and you getting the kill. So just like a little bit of a thing to keep note of. But like, so far you're getting the general premise of Winston. Again, I think you're playing the very like kind of default style. Like I used to call it the you're not really doing the jubble, which is like the jump bubble, but you're definitely not. You're more willing to use your bubble on cooldown than like you can do in the future. Like that's a fine bubble. I don't even know if I can give you a proper example yet of what I mean. I think it's more of like just min-maxing your ability to save that bubble when you need it, right? I think it's okay to be safe with it. I just think like as you get better, you can learn to like take an extra like 15% damage and then use that bubble as you go. Also, did you not get the heal bubble? I want thoughts on this, chat. Do you like the heal bubble a lot? I feel like the heal bubble is such a good, like, beginner one as a perk. Hybsy, by the way, thank you for the 30 months of the Prime sub. Appreciate it. Thank you. Like, I like the heal bubble a lot. I feel like it's so good to, like, be able to just stay in the team fights longer. I can't remember. Chat, what's the order of the perks? What's the minor perk? Like, do you have to make the decision on the perks between the heal bubble and the one that goes faster? Or is it the faster one and then the heal bubble? Because, like, I feel like, wouldn't, like, the faster one into the heal be a really good combo? That's what I'm thinking, right? So, like, you would get, like, the one that goes, like, you go faster to keep up, and then you have the, yeah. Like, I'm not saying, like, the chain one is bad. I just think, like, I think that if you're learning Winston, I think this gives you a lot of, like, extra survivability, which kind of can, like, teach you. I think the heal bubble is a good way to teach you survivability in backline, and also just be solid. Like, dude, the amount, like, how many times do people not kill your bubble? Like, it's like basically free heals. I just feel like sometimes it's when you're first starting as Winston, it just kind of teaches you how to stay in the backline longer, and like that can show you a lot more. So, anyway, either way, again, go with what you feel is best for your playstyle. But I would recommend giving the heal bubble a try. You might be pleasantly surprised. Maybe you already do that, but yeah. Good job there. So like that's like moments like that. I want you to like pay attention to. Like it's okay to go in, do a little bit of damage to like even a Reaper, and then just get out. This is a perfect dive. One thing you can always do too, by the way, is you don't have to directly run back to your team on like that. You could like go up behind. It works out, but like, you know, don't be afraid if you want to go back to like their side stairs, because keep in mind sometimes there's going to be that kind of punch back moment, and if you get the kill, they might be looking for you right away. So, okay, yep, just kind of play around this. Reaper's going to get away to the health pack. I'd be careful on that jump because if the Reaper's going to be there too, they're going to be right around the corner. But you're getting away with a lot of stuff. What are we watching? A Quickplay Warrior. I don't know. Like, I don't really... I feel like it's just going to be a lot of cleaning up your gameplay on Winston right now. Like, your backline pressure is good, but you're going to have to learn some timings. But, like, it's not bad either. Yep. Good ultimate, yeah. I mean, good solid ult. I think you're doing well. Again, I want to point out there's definitely some things you can clean up for sure, but it's not like super too crazy. I would say, right? Like I don't. Yeah. So just to point out, someone gave me like kind of like why they like the chain lightning because you can get a lot of ult charge per hit. That's true. Although technically a good heal bubble could also get you good ult charge, right? Because you get ults for healing. Again, you probably are right that chain lightning gets it more. But like I feel like I don't know. Like I think that's just gonna be one of those major perks that it's gonna be playstyle based. So I'm not gonna judge either way. I lean towards the healing bubble though. I guess it's my Winston. I mean, is not my strongest of tanks. I understand how the hero is supposed to be played, but like as with anything, sometimes you can understand how something works. It doesn't mean it's actually what's how to do it, etc. But yeah. Anyway. I have like an idea on the rank here. I could be off, but like I have an early idea, and I hope we're close because I'm seeing a lot of good stuff, and I'm seeing a couple of things. Oh, also just a note now, by the way, Winston is one of the heroes with a sub-roll passive that you get healing also when you're in the air. So just something to keep in mind that you can kind of heal yourself and self-pocket yourself a little bit more now. It's not like, what is it now? What's the healing, like 60 healing or 75 healing or something? That's too deep. I mean, you probably know that. This is what I mean, by the way, how you go into these, like, rotations. Do you see what I'm saying? Like the rotation of, like, you keep doing the same thing over and over again. So eventually they catch you for it. So, just be careful of that. Just be careful of that. But, I mean, you also did say you did some crazy plays that were a little bit too, you were doing your warm-up game. So I'll give you a little bit of leeway on that, right? Yeah, you can go for the Reaper. Now you can. Now you got to run. Yep, good idea. Good play. Look for the Mercy now. Yep.
60 seconds.
Not bad. Okay. Yep. You want to go for that Sojourn, but you want to... Here's what I want to teach you. Okay. Yes. I was going to say this. This is what I want to teach you. I want you to learn how to maneuver around maps without always relying on the jump. And you're like, what does that mean? It basically means that like every time you want to go to a spot, you're using your leap. But like, I want you to learn just how to do that because sometimes you might need that leap in certain situations, not even just to like survive something. Maybe your teammates need a quick help. Maybe remember that Sojourn like that was around there? Like say there was a Sojourn still here, not here anymore. And like you went to go here and that Sojourn starts a wide swing. Well, now you're stuck over here for like 4 or 5 seconds without being able to help back here. So like things you can do to like just, just to practice is why not just drop here, go up the stairs. Now you still have that leap available. When you start to climb as Winston, something you're going to have to do is get to your spots without relying too much on the jump. Yeah, another example is like, then you get up here and then say they go down here, rather than jump down into them, like drop down, use your bubble to maneuver, or like don't even use your bubble and then jump out, right? A lot of really good Winstons, they do like those kind of like those runs of like, they go in, 25% ult charge, back up. Right? And they're not using their jump at all. They're only using it to get out, right? Again, it's going to be situational based off of who you're going after, but keep that in mind too, right? Yeah. Something to keep in mind, kind of like get to your spots without, no, not a new haircut, no. Get to your spots, there's an item behind you, but yeah. Get to your spots without having to jump to them, which you kind of did right there, see? So, not bad. You could bubble this now. Yeah. Okay, I mean, I think your visions, you're going to get your ult. Yep. And there it is. This is what I already knew what your vision was, but I want you to be very careful of this type of situation where like basically to kind of describe this is like you think you're going to get your ultimate, but don't get jebaited by that. The amount and I've done this before in D.Va, like where I'm at like 95% ult, I'm like, oh, if I fly into them, I'm going to get my ult. You go in, next thing you know, it's at 99% and you get demeched immediately. So be careful of getting jebaited by that. Like I would have just used your zap and then eventually went for your jump if you were at like 97%, right? Like something like that. Like it needs to be a little bit closer sometimes. So I've done the same thing on D.Va where like, I'm like, oh, I definitely have this. But yeah, I mean, obviously, like jumping into a Reaper could be different if you go into like the Sojourn there, right? And like the Sojourn, it needs a little bit more time to get you down. But just getting a good habit of not trying to complete your ultimate when you're that far away from percentage, because like it's hard to tell sometimes, right? And again, I do the same thing, so I get it, but I try to minimize doing that as much as I can. It helps. Good ultimate here, good target focus on the Mercy. Go for the Ana now. Like, there's a lot of good here too. Like, your target focus has been solid. You understand. I feel like you understand a very good basic part of how to play Winston. And again, sometimes that's all you need on Winston. Like, my Winston is like not amazing by any means, but by any memes, true too, by any means. But anytime I have a good Winston game, like, I'm not doing anything crazy. I'm just not doing anything bad, right? And like sometimes that's like in Overwatch, you always want to be like that player who always, you know, gets the 100 of limbs and doing all this. But sometimes it's okay to just have that game that's okay, and you're not like overdoing it. You're just playing the character in a very like sufficient way, and getting into those habits early can be good on Winston. So for the rank, so the way this works for anybody just joining us, I usually have to guess what the rank is going to be. So what that means is I'm going to start off in a very like safe guess here, and I'm going to put you in, and again, if I end up being way off, apologies. I'm actually going to put you in like a very much like kind of a plat 2 area here. Now let me explain why. You said you're learning tank. A lot of your tank like gameplay loop is very it's like a solid gameplay loop, but it's very like you're doing the same thing over and over again, and as you climb, I think players will pick up on that. So I'm starting with plat 3. Now keep in mind, this could change in the next game. You're going to be playing some D.Va Winston, all of that. So this is going to help me kind of go there. But I think like you're not playing bad. You're not like, if you go into like I feel like if you went into like a Masters game, they might take advantage of that. But again, this is just the start. I could be way off, and next thing I know, you're in Masters 2, for all I know. So let's see how you play on a control center. This is perfect, because I would love to see a control and how you play. And this one here says, this game started off really well, but then everything seemed to fall apart. I picked D.Va on control center because I don't like playing Winston on that map. The enemy tank swapped to Zarya, but I couldn't play Winston because their DPS swapped to Bastion. That is a good decision. My team was blaming me at the end and called me some pretty nasty things. Sorry to hear that. Shouldn't have to deal with that. I'm sure I could have played better, but I felt helpless at the time. Some feedback would be greatly appreciated. I got you. By the way, just to point this out, if your DPS are mad you're not swapping to Zarya, because they have a Zarya, I want to point something out. Chat, what is the #1 hero that you would go against Zarya right now? That is a DPS. If you wanted to shred a Zarya, there's one hero that you can go that would shred Zarya. It's Bastion. It's literally Bastion. It's Bastion. So you go in Zarya wouldn't have saved anything, by the way. Unless your team has a Bastion, which if your team does have a Bastion, maybe there's a world you can make that work. But even then, like, Bastion will shred you. So, like, we'll see what happens. We'll see how your team plays. Obviously, you do not have one, so they do. We'll see what happens, though. Either way, so far, your selection of your hero is fine, right? Yeah, because once you get the bubbles down, you can just shred a Zarya. It's like... It's so good against that. Again, you have to follow up on the Zarya. There is that risk of, like, overcharging, but, like, if they're out of position, out of position. So, control center D.Va. Not bad. Not the worst. I don't mind this peel in the cast. Good job. Yep. You don't need to get these kills there, by the way. You just need to... Yep, there you go. Yemen. Yeah, you're doing good. Good job. You're understanding the backline peel. But you're also, like, preventing their team. Health pack awareness. I want you to think about health packs in these situations. Listen, one thing about tanking nowadays is, like, you have to be very self-sufficient in the 5v5. Like, you're going to get healed a lot, but, like, you need to also understand of, like... So let me give an example. Right? In this situation, chat, there's 2 things I'm thinking about, right? I might as well, you know what? I'm having some fun today. Today's a talking day anyway. I'm going to go a little bit more in depth than I normally do. Again, I might start doing this even more because I know I do a lot of, like, basic stuff, but I also have times where I can go a little bit more advanced. So in my mindset, I'm thinking about 2 things. One, I have to worry about this angle, but I'm not too worried about it, right? Because look what the Ana can see. This is what the Ana can see, and for the Ana to be able to see them in a way that's going to be really good, they're going to have to come here eventually, right? You're going to want to worry about this, right? But when I look over here, I see both supports. So what I would do is I want to try to control this side of, like, control center of taking away this angle, right? So then, if I have to take away this angle, right, I'm not going to fly there yet. I'm going to walk up. I'm going to play about here. I'm going to take the angle. I'm going to look for the Cassidy. I'm going to look at the Bastion. I'm going to make a decision. If I start to take damage, I have a health pack here. If I have the safety net to back up, I have a health pack here. So my vision is I want to utilize this health pack, and if we start to push them back, you can always utilize this one. But I would avoid this one as your go-to because this is where their team's at. So that's going to be how I would envision this. What you don't want to do is get stuck here. Don't do nothing here. Don't sit here and wait for something to happen. If you wanted to play it safe, you can also do a really fun angle where you get over here. This can distract people and kind of make them worried about this. And then after you have your cooldowns again, you can go for one more rotation. So you have multiple options, right? But don't just sit in the middle of the open doing absolutely nothing. This is what I'm getting at in this situation. Let's see what you do. Okay, so you went this way to get there, but you had the right idea. There you go. So now you control this side of the room. Now what? There's people to your left, so you want to be ready for that, right? Like, you want to think about them running up to your team. Now, if these flank goes well, this is good, right? So, like, I'm okay with this flank. So there you go. You and your character make a good flank. That's usually what you do, by the way. If you ever watch pro play, a lot of the time you take 2 players. It's not usually going to be the D.Va. It's usually like a well, actually, it is the D.Va nowadays, especially with like Kiriko Lucio. Sometimes it's Tracer, Lucio. Sometimes it's D.Va Tracer. Sometimes it's, except you get my point, right? Kiriko can always TP in. So, like, going behind with 2 people actually was a really good play. So just want to point out, good job on that one. Spectator the Rhine? Oh, I've done a lot of that. Okay. Yeah, this is... Right now, this is fine. I don't mind this play. Yep, and make yourself known here, too. Good job. Health pack awareness right there. I mean, so far, you're doing fine. Like, again... I want to point out something I've always given advice on to people, like, about tanking now is, like, a lot of people might watch this and be like, you need to be with your team. And this is the kind of the hardest thing I think to teach sometimes with current, like, tanking. This is how a lot of the tanks are played now, mobile-wise. Like mobility-wise. Like, you kind of have to go on, like, flanks. Now, I would say this is one of the more aggressive flanks you'll go for. Like, there is a safer option than this. But, like, when you're playing D.Va, when you're playing Winston, when you're playing these dive-centric heroes, it's not standing in front of your team like you're playing a Sigma or, like, playing a Reinhardt or playing a Ramatra. It's a lot of backline pressure. It took me about a year to learn this in Overwatch 2 because I had so many years of, like, the 6v6 practice in Overwatch 1 and kind of how you had to play tank. So it took me a long time to adapt to this. But, like, to point out, this is not bad gameplay. And I think it's still something that Overwatch in general is adapting to. Like, how many times have you tried to go for the flanks and your teammates are pissed that, like, you're going for this type of play? They, like, just assume you're feeding, you're not doing anything of value. But, like, truthfully, to get the full value out of this hero in these situations, you're kind of doing the right thing, right? Like, it's just, obviously you can maybe let your teammates know you're going to be making these plays, but, like, this is kind of the right way to do it. So just something to kind of, like, the look at, where if you're on dive tanks and you're constantly just standing on top of your team, you're probably not going to have as good of a time. And I think that's why D.Va's win rate at times kind of plummets in, like, other ranks because of that, because the playstyle requires this type of flank style. Sorry, I went a little bit in depth, but here we go. Well, if a Rhine was doing this, that's different, though, right? Like, a Rhine would be more front and center with your team. That's what I'm saying. Like, it's the D.Va being on the flank there is totally fine, right? Again, you want to be with your team, but, like, going for this type of play is okay. If you're Reinhardt doing this, yeah, that's way different, right? Like, that's way different. But that's you have to play each hero differently as a tank. Some of them fall into the same category, right? Like, yeah. Anyway, hope that's helpful. Yep. All right, but yeah, so far good. I mean, so good. Like, I mean, your stat line you're doing great. I mean, look at the stats. Now with the Zarya, how do you play against D.Va against the Zarya? It's pretty simple. If the Zarya uses both bubbles, that's it. You're good. This is console, if I'm correct. Great job. I mean, like I'm gonna be real with you. This was outside of a couple of, like, hesitation moments, I thought that was a well-played control center by you. And truthfully, can I be honest with you here? That is the hardest map to play against a Zarya as D.Va for control. It's control center. So, like, Night Market and Garden in theory should be, perfect for you. Like, the next 2 maps should be fine. Like, you should not struggle as much. Again, Night Market is going to be a little bit of the point battle, but I want you to remember something with Night Market. You can go around the backside of the map on a mobile hero, so don't try to front and center everything. Anyway, you're on Winston now. Again, Winston against Zarya is actually, I would say, Winston is like a soft counter to Zarya. Soft counter means that it's not like the end of the world. But the reason why Winston is so good against Zarya is because, like, Zarya is so energy-based and, like, trying to, like, farm damage that your bubble can really interrupt a lot of gameplay flow. So like a well-timed bubble as Winston can basically mean Zarya doesn't get as much energy. I know it doesn't make much sense, but basically it's just, you can kind of play around a Zarya like really well. So again, I know they switched Bastion, but like this isn't a bad pick is what I'm saying. Like Winston versus Zarya, totally fine pick. You're in a good spot. Soldier top right. Thank you. I love that when I can call out what you should do and then you go and do it. It's a good thing to see. Good job, by the way. Hi, Bucket Boy. Going back to the point now, trying to flank behind, using the bubble. I mean, again, excellent. Hi, buddy. Excellent dive. I can't see your HP right now, but I think you're fine. Good play. I thought it was excellent. Target in the off angle. Looks like Sully needs 4 head kisses twice sometimes to go into his bucket. It's just a habit he has. I didn't see how you went down there, but I'm going to assume he just kept going in. Remember, once you have a numbers advantage, the worst thing you can do is give it up after. All right, let's keep going. Have I considered live coaching? I get asked about live coaching all the time. We did it once, and it didn't do so hot on YouTube. Now, again, I think I could do a better job of it next time, but I would want to, like, okay, while we're in the middle of this one, and if you're watching this YouTube video right now, what is your vision of live coaching? That's what I want to know. Because, like, the way I did it was we had basically a group of 5. I kind of taught them in real time what to do, and it was pretty fun. Now, again, it was in Quickplay, and it was a lot less, like, it was a lot less advanced than it could be. But, like, if I was to take one player right now and do a live coaching, what would be live coaching to you? So, anyway, you can maybe answer that question, and we'll take a look at that in the comments at that point. I'm just curious, because, like, I'm not against the idea, but I want to do it right. So, anyway. Again, listen, they have a Bastion. You know they have a Bastion. Don't dive into there. There's no point to even take that engagement point. And I'm going to be honest with you, if your teammates aren't doing that same rotation with you on the outside, don't do that. So, anyway, once they have the Bastion, I actually don't mind you swapping off the Zarya. I mean, off the Winston. I think the D.Va. D.Va's fine here. Like truthfully, and I want to point this out. D.Va right now is fine against this. Like you're not doing a bad play. I do want you to get out of this habit, though, of engaging too early. And what I mean by that is this. Look where your teammates are right now. There's a difference on Control Center when you have the map control already. They have to worry about different things. But when they have the map control, you also need to help your teammates get set up, right? So right now, you have Ana over here. I don't know what's going on here with Ana. We have an Ana running back from spawn. You have your BAP and your Sojourn only able to see this specifically, this angle, and you diving in on a Bastion who has a health pack here and the rest of the team within line of sight. So what I'm saying is you might just be going a little bit too fast right now for your team. So right hero selection, but we'll see. Maybe you get like 4 kills and it works out. But you just need to remember that I like this end. Oh, dude, target focus has been... Your target focus has been good, by the way. Well played right there. I love your target focus decision. So, like, even though you went a little bit early, I love how you reacted after. Great job. You have a lot of good concepts here. I want to point that out. Like, you have a really good understanding of, like, things that you'll need to have for a tank. So, I just want to point that out. Good job. Yep, just go to point. You have no reason to... I would worry more about, yes, that window than... Yeah. Great boot. Love the idea. Remember, there's a Bastion main. Yep, so... You did the right idea on the boot. But what I want you to do next time is I actually want you to go this way, because what's gonna, it's, okay, technically you don't want to, this is a weird one because there's 2 ways to go about it. I would do this. I wouldn't actually end up here because I know the Bastion has 2 slight angles on me, so I want to minimize the potential of the Bastion to be able to shoot me. So what I would actually do is I would back up this way. It's still a bit of a risk, but I would back up this way. If the Bastion isolates you into a 1v1, what can the Bastion do now, right? So I want you to think about that process of like, yes, they have a window there, but you already did what you needed to do. You got to kill, right? They're already starting to think twice about that spot now. And then you get 2 options here. If you back up to this angle and the Bastion tries to isolate you in a 1v1, right? You can take the Bastion kill and go for that. Now, if the Bastion doesn't go for the 1v1 and ignores you, you can fly through the window and now you're flanking them. See how you like there's a multi-layered level to that? This isn't a bad play. Like this is the 3rd option. I just think you had option 1A, 1B, 1C, and you went with 1C, which is why you're going to be over here demacked. I think this one would have been a little bit safer. You wouldn't have taken as much damage, and then you had a decision to make. And then worst comes to worst, say you get to this Bastion, it ends up being an even matchup. Well, guess what? Fly over the top, health pack right here. Now you're behind him again. See how that rotation kind of puts you in a really good spot? That's like, I'm not promising that's what I'll do in that decision, but that's if like, you know, I have the luxury of being able to watch it from a spectator. That's what I would do in that situation if I was in that spot. If I was playing like perfectly. Again, it changed. What's the cat's name? That is Sully. He is my Bengal cat. I have 3 cats. You'll see them all from time to time. Anyway, hope that's helpful. What are people's thought process behind mirror and higher in ranks? It's just meta. Like, things become really strong. Team comps. Like, I think a lot of the times, I think, and this is going to sound kind of funny, like, sometimes people hard focus too much on the hero in a meta and not what the hero's utility brings. And then when you play the meta hero in ranked, it doesn't do as well because you're not doing the things that you're supposed to. This is the correct play, obviously, chat. You needed to tap the point, so. You had to pop your ult there, I will say that. And let me kind of phrase this out here. Like, you want to pop your ultimate there? Yeah. Like, I mean, you know why. It's like, even if your team gets the point, you can't risk, like, you basically can't risk losing that, right? I get that. Like, look what happens. Like, your team cleans that up, and now look, you basically lost the team fight. So, yeah, that's okay. I mean, that's a small mistake. I mean, you know you did it there. I've been there before. I've had times where, like, you know, you know what one gets me a lot? Does anybody ever have the moment where you get your ultimate right as you're about to demech, but you don't recognize it? And then you realize it like a second after, and you go, oh no. So a little bit of a habit to get into, and this is very helpful. Actually, this is a good tip here. When you're about to be demech, spam your ult button. Because like if you're at 99%, even like the natural regen moment, sometimes it's 1%, sometimes it's, I forget what the exact number is, but sometimes it'll be like 1.5. I think it's 1.5 maybe. Just be ready, like spam your ult button. Like just hit it, because sometimes there'll be like this perfect moment where you're getting demeched and your ult pops, and if you aren't spamming your button before then, you'll miss your timing. So get in the habit of like, okay, if you're close to that ult and you're like in your mind, if you get your ult, you're using it no matter what, and you want to save your mech for extra HP, just start spamming the button, because there's a chance you end up like worst case scenario, you know, even if your Ana heals you for 30, you're still gonna have that. Only caveat to that, by the way, there's an unlucky time, and it happens very rarely. Your Ana never tells you they're gonna nano you. They try to save you with a nano, and you spam your ult. Again, that's a communication issue. Like you need to communicate that. But you know what I mean? Like I've had that happen a couple times. Where like I'm like, okay, I'm playing for the DMAC here. I'm doing it so I can get in my like suit, and you're spamming your ult, and then you get nano, and you're like, whoops. Uh-oh, my bad. So I don't know. Just hopefully that's helpful information for everybody. Okay. You're trying to do a little bit too much there. Again, this goes back to what I talked about on the second point of give your teammates time to set up a little bit. If like your teammates can't follow up and you're going too early, that is the easiest Zarya bubble for me if I'm playing Zarya, right? But the idea is to kind of chip away a bubble or two. So that way, like, if you go into their backline, they have a really aggressive decision to make of like, do I bubble my Bastion or save her for myself? And when you do that, you're going to be in a much better spot. You're just going too early. You're trying to force the play too early, and that's how you follow. Again, like, if you, just to be clear here, I don't think D.Va on Garden is bad here. Like, if you went Zarya, this would not go well. If you went Winston, this would not go well, right? Because of the Bastion. Like, you're based off of your hero pool you've explained to me, this is totally fine, right? You know, like, if I had to go another hero here, maybe, chat, like, I would... Like, and people might even hear this and be like, what, they have a Zarya? I go like Sigma or something, because I can spam out a lot of early stuff. Again, you know, maybe I can go Zarya, but I would probably just be on D.Va here. Because, like, you're just gonna... You're so... See, now you're afraid to make a play. See, if you've gone from being too aggressive to now you're so, like... You have been so scared to even do anything here. Let me give you a couple things you can maybe do. Ready? Fly to here for a second and see what happens, right? You know, a little bit away from the Zen. Just go here. What happens? Do they overcommit to you? Does it give you space elsewhere? You know, fly across to here and start to, like, do random things. But don't, like, get stuck here and do nothing, because all you did was stand there for 50 seconds, right? You're, like, it's like the first dive kind of, like, put you on your back foot, and then now you're playing too safe. So that's why, again, just, like, remember... Look where your team's at. If they're able to follow up or be around you, that's good. I think they were in a spot that you could take map control. Like keep in mind, map control is a part of the game, which means that every play doesn't have to be when you finally engage, it's to their teammates. It can be as simple as flying to a spot to cut the map in half, right? Right now they have 75% of the map. Your goal is not to go team wipe them. It's to take back the 25% of the map that you need and then take that next part of the map from them. So right now you're just playing so hesitant that they're just controlling everything. So you're just stuck on that side. So think about it as that, right? Yep. Think about that going in the future. Rather than like, I need to always overcommit to their backline when it's like, take the first step, right? So obviously you end up losing the game there. I will say that was not the best Garden out of you. I think you were playing a little bit almost like hesitant and scared. I get it because of the comp, but I think like I want you to really learn from this of like map control is so important that if you map control correctly and you set up your teammates correctly, as in like they can follow up, you'll have good results. Not every play needs to involve you going into their team, making a huge play, and then backing away. I just want to point that out. Like, that's kind of what happened there towards the end. But overall, you had some good moments. Like, I actually think you have a lot of good here, and it's about cleaning up a lot of like the small things that you make. So, again, keep working on Winston. Remember, you don't always have to dive to people. Work on getting into your spots out the dive, dropping down. Remember, work on your jumps. I don't want you to keep flying straight up into the air. That's how you're going to fall over a lot of the time. As D.Va, remember, you were doing good with the backline pressure. It was a great job. All of that was nice. Just remember, though, you don't have to go in 1v5 until your teammates are in a spot that can follow up on. If you feel like you're stuck doing nothing, go take a map control somewhere. Like you know, take 10% of the map away from them at a time, and then eventually you can make your play. But don't get stuck. Don't get stuck. Okay? Anyway, chat, that was that one. Now I have to guess the rank. I'm actually going to be a little bit more ambitious here. I would say Diamond 4. Is it? I'm being no. I think Diamond 4. Diamond 4 is my guess. I think you. And the reason is, hear me out. I went with Plat 3 to start, but I think there's been enough. Like you're understanding the backline plays a lot that I think you can get a. I think that from what I've seen in Plat games, there's still that stack with the team. You're very good at understanding that you don't want to stand right in front of your team the whole time, and that alone, that's why I bumped up the rank so much. Now to give you an idea, my initial guess was Plat 3. I moved it up to Diamond 4, so if I fall anywhere in between that, I'm happy. If I'm off, then hey, you know what? That's a confidence boost, right? So here we go. Let's see. The rank is Diamond 3. There you go. Diamond 3. So I was very close. I'm not surprised. Keep in mind that Diamond 3 actually has a little bit larger of a sample size than normal for that, too. It has like 25 wins this season on that. Yeah, I mean, that pretty much, I think that's, you know, I went Diamond 4. I think that's pretty close to what we were going with. But, like, again, it's the backline pressure that I'm seeing that's really solidifying that for me a lot of the time. So just to make it clear, by the way, here, Jazz says that she placed Plat 3 and is now in Diamond 3. So it's kind of cool that we got the placement right, and then we were a little bit, you know, off on that one. But yeah, I mean, again, I think you did a good job overall. I just think in the future, just work on a lot of the things I'm like saying to clean up, and I think you'll see a climb. But yeah, I mean, good play, a lot to fix, but like that's not a bad thing either. I like having things to work, like to improve on. It's always nice. So anyway, yeah, great job. If you like the video, make sure, and I think you will climb. All right, you got this. You absolutely got this. If you like the video, make sure to hit the like button. Subscribe to the YouTube if you haven't. Leave a comment. All that helps. You want to submit your own video, pretty much for anything we do. My Discord's where to do that. And if you want to watch more of these quick play warrior videos, we're going to have one pop up over here on the side. Click it. It's a good one. See if we got that rank right. Who knows? With that being said, hope you all have an amazing day/night.